So welcome everybody. My name is Jeff Siegel, and this is going to be your stretch sessions, which is really a break for your brain and your body. All right. And so I'm going to be leading you through about 10 different movements. And my goal is to help you find things that you can do in the middle of your workday to better take care of your body, right? Because every hour, every day that we're sitting in front of a device, right, we're reinforcing certain postures and tensions in our body. And so we need to spend some time to help undo those things to restore a little bit of balance. So hopefully this is going to feel really nice. All right. And just before we get started, a couple of things. All right. Everything I'm offering is a description, not a proscription. Right. So tune into your body. I trust you and your own wisdom of what's going to be right for you. And if something doesn't quite feel right in your body, then you can always just ease off and just come back to a position that feels comfortable for you. The other thing is, no equipment is required. All right, we'll start sitting down and then we'll move to standing up. Although if you need to stay seated or you prefer that, you can do most of these things as well that way. And really the only thing you need is a little bit of space so you can stick your arms out without breaking something or having something break you. All right. And beyond that is just a willingness to participate and to tune in. And the other important thing is that this is not about getting your body to sort of look a certain way, right? And there isn't even a specific outcome. So I want you to think this is more just about the process, taking 20 minutes to be with your body. And so with all of that, what I'd like you to do now is I'm assuming that you're seating, you're down in some sort of chair, all right? And probably a place where you spend a lot of time, maybe in front of your device doing work. And so one of the most important things we can do is to notice our posture. Okay. And I hear from V just saying, I can't hear any audio. I hope other people can hear me okay. I think you might want to just sort of check your own computer inputs or speaker sound, and that might help you. So I want to just begin with a quick posture check-in. All right, and if you're sitting in a chair, just slide your butt to the edge of the chair so you're not resting back. All right, and I just want you to think about creating a little bit of length in your body. So I want you to breathe in, imagine your spine lengthening, your head rising up, and then just exhale, just drop your shoulders and relax. And again, same thing, breathing in, finding that length, breathing out, relaxing down. A couple more times, just nice deep breath. And ideally, you want to have your spine kind of nice and upright, but not too rigid, kind of setting your pelvis in a place that feels comfortable, feet flat on the ground. Now, there might be things you can do in your office to make it a little bit more sort of ergonomically friendly, and we can save that for a whole nother discussion. So I want to begin sort of with the head and the neck, because this is an area that often holds a lot of tension because we're stuck in a forward head posture. So just beginning by tucking your chin down towards your chest, and then beginning to roll your head up and back, and then letting it come down the other side. And I find the key to this is doing it with your breath. So breathing in as the head comes up and breathing out as it rolls down the other side. And so all of these, right, kind of stretches, right, at one level, they're just basic movements, but when you add in the breath, they can become really rejuvenating for your whole mind and body. And then the other piece is slowing down, right? There's no rush to get through any of this. There's almost a bit of this sort of savoring, right? Savor the movement, savor the breath, really enjoy that exhale. It can be a pretty pleasant release. And notice if you hit any areas of tension that are accumulating in your neck, right? And you can hang out there for a moment. It's all about sort of being very careful, leaning into a little bit of discomfort, pulling back to a place of more comfort. And we begin to sort of work with it that way. So maybe taking one more head roll and then just coming back to center. And notice again how even that might leave a certain nice sort of lingering sensation in your head, your neck. And I want to go into some shoulder rolls. So letting your arms just fall down by your side. You're going to breathe in, squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears, pinch them behind your back, and then exhale, letting them drop down. So thinking about moving your entire shoulder blade as much as you can. and the shoulder's gonna rise up and fall down, as well as kind of roll forward and then roll backwards. And each time you go around, see if there's something new you can discover. You're like, oh, I didn't know that that kind of felt that way. And there's this exploration, this ongoing exploration of sort of bodily sensation. And we're just trying to bring that sense of curiosity to whatever is going on. Right, and if at any point there's a lot of pain, if you have a lot of shoulder issues, just kind of going slow, easing off again, doing whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. So one more time with those shoulder rolls, and then just allowing your arms to just relax down by your side. And I want you just to come in now, again, noticing your seated posture, noticing the position of your shoulders and your head and neck, all right? And trying as best to sort of become familiar with this position so you can get back into it whenever you're doing your other work. And that way we can minimize some of the sort of detrimental effects of that forward head posture, looking down at our devices. So from this point, I'm going to offer standing up moves. So if you have the space and want to stand up, you can kind of just push your chair over to the side. And I'll just come back so you can see. Great. So one of my favorite things to do when standing is just a simple bounce or a shake. All right, so starting down at your feet, I just want you to kind of gently push the front of your toes into the floor, maybe lifting your heels up and down, and just giving your body a nice little jiggle. And I want you to kind of feel that movement grow as it moves from the floor up your body. So loosening your knees a little bit, letting them be soft and shaking. And then the hips just kind of moving. And then the arms resting so you can feel that jiggle move down into your wrists, into your elbows. And then even letting the head and the shoulders get kind of loose. Right? You don't have to worry about how you look. All right, I'm not watching. Hopefully nobody else is watching. All right, just having fun, just kind of getting loose and jiggling, right? Almost as if you're sort of dancing in space to yourself. So just breathe in. All right, you can make it as big or as subtle as you like. Let's go about 10 more seconds. And this is just a nice way to feel really connected to your whole body, kind of wake up all of our tissues, get blood flowing. And take a breath, and just kind of relaxing, settling down. Now notice there might be some lingering sensation, maybe a little bit of tingling. You can feel some energy that's present. Yeah, just take note of that, right? This is what it means to be alive and have a body. So from here, I want you to take your hands, if you feel comfortable, and just sort of placing them right over the bottom of your belly. And we're just going to take 4 slow, deep breaths. And I want you to imagine your belly inflating, feeling your hands rising. And then as you exhale, that nice long exhale out, make it really relaxing. So when you feel comfortable breathing in, feeling that hand on your belly rise, and then I like to just take a very slow exhale out. You can go at your own pace here. Again, slowing it down, there's no rush. Drawing out that exhale, helping your body come back to a place of calm and relaxation. I recommend looking up if you can, right? We spend so much of our time looking down. Look out a window if you have one. Find something pleasant to take in your surroundings. All right, we're gonna go back into that bouncing again, just for about 20 more seconds. So just sort of starting to jiggle. You can change your feet position if you'd like. All right, and just kind of have some fun with this one. If there's some music or something you want to turn on to set the ambiance, whatever is going to make this a pleasant brain and body break for you. So I'm just kind of jiggling it out. All right, you can kind of shake things, right? Shake the wrists, shake the elbows. Keep breathing. Again, just sort of building up that energy. And slowly bringing it back down. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to take our hands up to the side as we breathe in. I want you to imagine you're touching something overhead and then exhaling, just letting the arms drift back down to your side. So we'll do this move a few times, breathing in and up. And then slowly, arms drifting down. I like to move my head as I'm doing this, so I kind of follow my hands looking up as I breathe in, and then gently beginning to look down as the arms come down. Again, following your breath is going to make this just a much more powerful reset for your body. Good, we'll go 2 more times. Thinking about drawing in that fresh energy, nice big breath, and then letting go whatever sort of stress or tension you don't need to hold on to right now. Good, I'm gonna have you take 1 more, reach those arms up overhead. And then from here, what I like to do is sort of grab one wrist with my opposite hand, and then I gently pull that hand up and over my head into a side bend. So always sort of start nice and slow, go right until you feel like you don't wanna go anymore. Hang out there, and then breathe back in. Go to the other side. Exhale as I come down, inhale as I come up. Now, if you only make it a little bit, that's totally fine. Just think about creating as much length as you can, kind of across your fingers, down through your armpit, into the side of your body, pushing your hips a little bit to the opposite direction, and just keep going here, alternating left and right. And follow what feels pleasant. And there might be times where it does feel a little bit uncomfortable, but ultimately it should feel like it's a productive discomfort. But we never want to force our body into a position that it really doesn't want to go. Breathing in, breathing out. You can almost imagine if somebody was going to grab your hand over your head and just sort of gently pull you up and over to that side of that wall. Really nice big stretch. Go 1 more time each side. And then when you're ready, just letting the arms kind of float back down to your side. Again, at each point, we just sort of check in with the body, right? Noticing how things are feeling, whether stuff feels a little more open or a little bit more alive than it did maybe before we started. So this next move is going to be really good, again, for the chest opening and the shoulders, all right, to counteract some of that sort of inwardly rotated computer posture. So I'm going to have you take your arms up like this, all right, kind of elbows bent at 90 degrees. And then what you're going to do is you're going to exhale and sort of gently pull your hands together as if you're going to curl into a little ball. And then I want you to inhale, pull your hands and your elbows as far as you can behind you, opening up to the front. So we exhale, coming in, inhale, opening that chest, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. All right, so the key here is really feeling that stretch in the front of the shoulders and the chest, and the movement and the muscles in your upper back beginning to engage in that back position. You might get a couple little cracks out of your spine. Right? Maybe you hear some popping or snap, crackle, popping. Right? Usually that is okay as long as there's not a painful sensation associated with it. It's just a sign of just you're moving joints around and tissues that maybe haven't been moved in a while. So generally that's okay. Gonna go 1 more time on this. And relax. Now notice as we do some of these moves, right, you might actually accumulate some tension in some places as a result. So we always kind of have to try to balance things out. And so if at any point in this, there's a movement that you're like, oh, my body sort of feels like doing this sort of thing, I want you to go ahead and just listen, just sort of let your body move. All right. So next, we're just going to go into a little bit of a side-to-side twisting motion. And I want you to try to originate this twist from your torso. So it's not just the arms, but I really want you to kind of twist to the left, twist to the right. And start really small. Because we don't want to put too much pressure into especially our lower back on the twisting. But then if you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can kind of let your arms flop around to the side. And just breathing. And just allowing that side to side motion to kind of unfold. And you feel how that happens in your hips, in your feet. That weight shift as we gently push into the floor. Again, big, nice exhale. And I'm gonna kind of bring it back to center. Great. So we're gonna go through just a couple more moves. All right, this next one, we're gonna work on sort of stretching our posterior chain, especially down into glutes and hamstrings. So it's gonna look like this. All right, you're gonna take your hands and you're gonna kind of reach them behind you as you push your butt backwards. All right, and you allow your chest to sort of drop forward, but ideally you wanna try to keep a nice long spine. All right, and then you're gonna stand back up, let the arms come forward, standing up nice and tall. So I drop down, push my butt backwards, hands reach behind me. Keep going, you might feel a little bit of tension accumulating down the backside of your leg, and then pushing into your feet, hips come forward, standing up nice and tall. And just finding that breath. I like to exhale as I come down, inhale as I come up. And I often think that like I'm a skier slaloming down the hill, right? In this sort of this bottom position, we're kind of tucked under, head nice and long, hands reaching behind, push those hips back, find that stretch, and then arms reaching nice and long at the top. Let's go 2 more times on this. And when you're ready, standing up nice and tall. And then next, we're just going to go into a forward fold. And so the way I like to do this is just starting with my hands sort of right on the front of my legs. And, you know, trying to get a little bit of that sort of spine flexion, as long as we go slow and gentle. Right now, if you have a pre-existing spine issues or issues with your discs, definitely please be careful with these moves to not put too much pressure. All right, but to keep a healthy spine, we want to keep it nice and mobile for that flexing and extending. So we're going to work on rounding the spine, tuck your chin, and begin to let your hands slide down your legs. Notice that tension move down your back, maybe down into your hips, maybe down into your legs. I want you just to come to wherever the bottom position is for you, whatever that is. All right, and then relax your head and your neck. Let your head drop. Shake your head a little bit to the left, shake your head a little bit to the right. Relax your jaw, relax your mouth, relax your entire face. And then even if you feel comfortable and you want to kind of sway your upper body a little bit to one side or the other, just shifting your weight. Take a nice big exhale. You might be able to get even a tiny bit deeper down into the stretch. Spending some time here can be really helpful. It can also be a little bit hard to breathe. You might have a lot of blood rushing to your head. So if you notice that, just always stand back up slowly. We're going to hang out for a few more moments, taking a deep breath in and out. And then just reversing that motion, pushing your hips under, letting your hands slide up. And then at the top, I like to reach my arms all the way up overhead, maybe coming into a tiny bit of a back bend if that feels okay for you. And then we're going to exhale and drop forward one more time. Hands come down towards your feet, head comes down to the ground. Another variation is often called ragdoll. You just grab your elbows and sort of let your upper body be like a heavy weight just dangling down in front of you. And just hanging out there and breathing. Again, a nice little sway side to side can feel really good. And slowly working yourself back up. I want you to reach your arms overhead. Again, find that big stretch, lots of length through your head, your fingers. And this next time, all right, I want you to take one leg, cross it in front of the other, and then begin to fold yourself down and forward. So what we're doing here is now we're putting a little more emphasis into that back leg, finding stretch there. Exhale. And at the bottom, see if you can take maybe 3 deep, slow breaths, just holding that tension. wherever it is in your body, trying to work with it, letting it begin to relax and open. And then when you feel ready, standing back up, bringing those feet together, arms reach overhead, again, to get nice and long. If you want to even rise up onto your toes, you can try that. And then I want you to cross your other leg in front and then begin that same process, just folding forward. Moving slowly and mindfully through any and all of these moves. And the biggest thing with all of this is not to rush, not to rush. Right? Stretching takes time, the tissues take time to open. And what we're trying to do is counteract that sense of not having enough time. We spend so much time in this sort of rushing mindset. So coming all the way up, feet come back together, arms reach overhead, and relax. Just coming back to standing. If you'd like, placing your hands on your hips and just moving those hips in a nice gentle circle. And as you're doing this, notice if there's any part of this sort of motion that your body doesn't like. You know, maybe you hit a little area that you feel a little clicking, a little pain, a little discomfort. All right, all of this is helping you gather information for your body, all right, that you can work with to better take care of yourself. Going the other way. Finding your breath as you're doing this. Again, looking up. Look out the window. Look at something you have in your room. Good. And coming back to standing. Good. And so I just want to kind of close up again with just a couple deep belly breaths. We're going to do that same thing where you take your hands and you place them sort of right below your navel. All right, spreading your feet out maybe a little bit, bending your knees. So this way you feel really grounded, feeling connected to the floor and the earth. And we're just going to take about 5 breaths. Okay, just moving at your own pace, breathing in and letting it go. And just think about breathing with your entire body, but that epicenter right there in the bottom of your abdomen. You're welcome to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Really a chance to get reconnected with your body. And this is just a way of saying thank you. Right, the most important thing that your body needs is breath and air and oxygen. I'm going to have you pause. And what I'd like to ask you right now is, of the dozen or so different stretches we just did, all right, if you were going to choose one that you found either most helpful or most accessible for you, which one would that be? And how can you incorporate that now into the rest of your day today and into your work day tomorrow and the year after? So if you'd like and want to be open to sharing, just type into the chat box whichever movement that you found really useful for you, and then one that you want to carry forward into your workday. Maybe it's the head and neck rolls, maybe it's just the standing and the arm stretching, right? Pick a move, and I want you to commit to yourself to do this during your day, all right? Because if it felt good today, it's going to feel good tomorrow. And the more that you can incorporate this into everything else that you do, the more it's going to help serve you and serve your body, ultimately to a place where you don't have so much tension that it's going to feel really inaccessible to begin to stretch. So I want to thank you so much for participating in today's stretch session and brain and body break. And seeing. So a couple things of just sort of crossing your leg, folding forward, arm stretching, really good. I love all of these. Yes, the goalpost position. I never called it that, but I love that. It's totally the thing. And there's a few good variations that we can show next time. So again, there's so much power in just pausing, and even again, if you just do one movement, even if you just do something for 60 seconds, right? It can have a tremendous effect on the way that your body is feeling, but also your mood and your focus the rest of the day. So trying to add in one of these moves and just sort of thinking about sitting in a more deliberate way can be really helpful places to start. So again, this is Jeff Siegel with your stretching sessions. It was a pleasure. And I look forward to the next time that we can come together and stretch and breathe.